Tonight on KGW News.
The Blazers will win!
A close one in San Antonio as the Blazers tie up the playoff series. See how a local company is stepping up to make sure fans headed to Game 3 at Moda Center get their playoff shirts. Plus,
this looks like we might be experiencing some Zoom bombing.
A Portland Public Schools Zoom meeting interrupted with hateful messages. How the district is responding. Then,
I was horrified. I really was.
An Oregon coast town that's had its trouble with elk rallies to find the person who shot and killed one of them. And Portland city workers push for their jobs as the mayor looks to slash the budget.
At a time when the city will have to make cuts, I would expect great consideration be given to the people who hold the system together.
But we start with that razor-thin win by the Portland Trailblazers in San Antonio tonight to tie up the playoff series. Thanks for being here with us. I'm Christine Pitawanich. The Blazers just a few points ahead with seconds to spare. Our Art Edwards is here now to break it all down. Art, such an exciting game tonight.
Boy, it really was. Went right down to the wire in this one. What an effort for the Portland Trailblazers. The 7th seed in the playoffs in the Western Conference rallied to come back and beat the San Antonio Spurs. Blazers off to a sensational start in this one, and it was really all fueled by Scoot Henderson. The Blazers went on a 13-0 run early, took a double-digit lead. The Spurs kind of reeled them in, but disaster for San Antonio in the second quarter of this ballgame. Victor Wembanyama, he goes down, hits his head on the court. He is now in the league's concussion protocol. And he had to leave the game and did not return at that point. Scoot Henderson, he was simply awesome in the first half of this ball game. He had 19 points. The game was tied when it went to halftime. Now in the second half, it was more of Scoot Henderson. He drains the three-pointers. The Blazers trailed by 1 after 3 quarters. But the Spurs, they weren't done by a long shot. They were able to open up the fourth quarter on a 13-0 run, and the Blazers looked like they were in big trouble. Portland had another run left in them, though. Henderson led the way, another three-pointer to pull the Blazers to within 1 late in the game. The teams went back and forth from there. With 12 seconds left, Denny Avia, he was the one who got the ball to Robert Williams, who scored. That was the last shot of the ball game that San Antonio was not able to convert. The Blazers win at 106-103. Henderson finished with 31.
I feel like our mission was to just attack downhill. Like this game, it was going into it was don't be afraid to attack downhill while he's in there, while he's out. And once he went down, kind of thing, it's not a great thing, obviously, but for us, it was just get downhill, keep attacking, and keep opening shots up for everybody else.
Series tied at 1. Wembanyama, he has to wait 48 hours before he can get back to full participation with the team. It would be tough for him to get cleared for Game 3, and Game 3, of course, is Friday over at the Moda Center. Tip-off set for 7:30.
Looking forward to that. Art Edwards reporting. Thank you, Art. And fans will be stoked to be able to watch the playoff action from home, of course, but many made the trip to Texas for the start of the series. Reporter Christian Urban in San Antonio caught up with some of them at tonight's game.
We spoke Sunday night about how well Portland Trailblazers fans travel, and there was no lack of that once again in Game 2. But I want to take y'all with me to meet some of those fans. Let's go on another journey. So why the Portland Trailblazers? Obviously you live in Austin.
Yeah, I know. Well, Damian Lillard, he's just a great basketball player. And the way he just moves on the court was just amazing, and I think I need to stick with that team.
Obviously, Wemby has national recognition. Were either of you surprised, you're seeing him right now, were either of you surprised by how tall he is in person?
Yeah, no, I saw him walking over there. I was like, oh shoot, that can't be a real person.
Look, I know this is a rough crowd out here. Y'all have made your way from Portland, but this is Spurs City. Like I said, it's a rough crowd. How are y'all taking it? Because I know you want to represent.
I'm loud and proud Portland fan. I'm not scared of where I'm from, so I'll proudly represent in any environment. I'm gladly from Portland. So we need to do our best to make sure that Wemby just doesn't dominate every game. And I think we just need to play our own game, let Denny make his drives to the basket, pass the ball around, hopefully make some shots, and yeah.
I'll say Wemby's gonna do his thing, but we got Denny, we got Shaden. I think Shaden come off the bench, drop some, Scoot show up. I think we got the group to do it.
Okay, so it sounds like word on the street is if they're able to overcome Wemby in this series, they're going to have a good chance the rest of the way. The fans are excited for sure, and I know the fans back at KGW are going to be super excited that they're making their way back to Portland for Game 3. But reporting now from the Frost Bank Center, Kristen Urban, KGW News.
Talk about dedication. Love to see it. And you know what? You may have seen Spurs fans sporting matching tees at Game 1, but the Blazers have said they won't be offering the free swag this year, as is tradition. Instead, the team president hinted that something else is in store for fans who show up for Game 3. But a local company, Portland Gear, is picking up the baton to fix up disappointed fans. The company says it'll be giving out free shirts on Thursday at their flagship store downtown. Fans will need to show their tickets, and it is first come, first serve. No word yet on what the shirts will look like, but the store opens at 10 a.m. And we've got more basketball action ahead in about 15 minutes or so with the brand new Portland Fire working hard at training camp just over a week away from the start of the WNBA preseason. Okay, check out this great shot of a double rainbow from our viewer Justin in the Hazeldale area tonight. He says he felt like watching two galaxies merge for a moment as he saw that. Chief Meteorologist Matt Spino here now. Matt, are we going to see a little more rain and sun mixing tomorrow?
What was that? Two galaxies merging?
Yeah, that's what he said it looked like to him.
All right. We've got ourselves a lot of, he was lucky because we just had a lot of cloud cover in downtown Portland that never really broke up the way it did in Vancouver here. So, you know, it was great to get the light up there the way we did. He's very lucky to see that merging of the galaxies. Not a lot of people get to see that, you know. All right, here's what it looks like in Portland right now. It is 52 degrees and the rain has stopped. And it's going to continue to be dry for the evening hours. There's that last little batch of rain that moved on out of here, which is great. We had some showers and thunderstorms up in Northeast Oregon, too. Those have settled on down. And the rainfall total is about 1/3 of an inch in Portland, but over 1/2 an inch up in Hillsborough and about 2/3 of an inch down in Aurora. So it came down pretty good for a good part of the day, but it's been dry now for several hours. That only lasts till about 4 or 5 a.m. Then the rain begins. So expect wet roads again for the morning commute. But the rain will end tomorrow. Once it does end, it'll stay dry for a while. However, Christine, there is a change in the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know if that impacts your weekend in a bit.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Matt. Okay, let's get you caught up now on tonight's other headlines. A dad accused of shooting another dad in a school drop-off area has been found guilty on all charges. The shooting happened back in 2024 outside the Islamic School of Portland. Security video shows Nuruddin Dib walking up to a car. The two men start talking and eventually Michael Zakarne is shot. Dib was charged with attempted murder, among other charges. His defense team argued the shooting was in self-defense. He will be sentenced next month. A Multnomah County judge sentenced a prolific Portland burglar to 5 years in prison. Brandon Lee Hellard pleaded guilty to a number of burglary and theft charges after breaking into 4 businesses and admitting that he stole a commercial vehicle in 2025. This is security footage of one of those break-ins at Mary Jane's House of Glass last year. Prosecutors say tips from the public helped them crack the case. And support is growing for Oregon State pitcher Tyler Belrose. He was recently involved in a serious car crash. On social media, OSU shared a link to a Give, Send, Go campaign to help him out. According to the post, Belrose suffered a traumatic brain injury in the crash. He can't move one of his legs and has limited movement in one arm. The goal of the campaign was to raise $50,000 to help Belrose and his family. At last check, it's already blown right past that goal with more than $65,000. In a developing story tonight, Portland City Council got to hear Mayor Keith Wilson's proposed budget cuts for next year. He called it a very difficult process as the city faces a $160 million general fund shortfall. Our Alma McCarty joins us now in the newsroom with more on this. Alma.
Christine, these proposals aren't set in stone. It's certainly worth saying that right off the bat. And many showed up to the meeting this morning hoping to persuade council to find alternatives to layoffs and cuts.
Tuesday morning outside City Hall.
There's a general sense of anxiety.
Portlanders prepare to address city leaders as the mayor delivers his budget message.
Colleagues, you have a challenge ahead of you. You will grapple with the reality that fiscal year 26-27 marks a moment when Portland's balanced budget must stretch farther, it must carry more weight, and bridge a deeper chasm than we have previously demanded of city government.
Mayor Wilson's $8.5 billion proposed budget includes significant and painful cuts, his office says, in order to close a historic budget gap of over $160 million. Among those cuts, scaling back in police, fire, and parks. Within PPB, the mayor's looking to cut more than $21 million, which means limiting training programs, reducing overtime, and cutting down on fleet expenses. Additional public safety cuts include reductions to the Office of Violence Prevention and Ceasefire programs and eliminating 2 Portland street response teams. Within Portland Fire and Rescue, the proposal means reducing the number of fire engines and the hours some teams operate for cuts of more than $7 million. And for Portland Parks, the mayor has proposed cutting back on community center hours and reducing park maintenance to save $13 million.
Despite the fact that the mayor has said a couple of times this morning that the city of Portland is in a renaissance, and which I totally agree with, we are definitely in an upward trajectory. This is an austerity budget.
Dozens testified, most against cuts to services and to jobs.
At a time when the city will have to make cuts, I would expect great consideration be given to the people who hold the system together.
Where you spend is where you stand. And it is not acceptable that you don't know the impact. Now you know.
The city has the money to save these jobs, and we're making a choice to not do that.
In addition to the proposed cuts, Mayor Wilson has also proposed moving some money around to help fill in the gap from reserves and contingency funds to fee increases. Moving nearly $27 million from Portland's Clean Energy and Community Benefits Fund, or PCEF, was met with some pushback. Christine?
Some difficult decisions ahead. Alma McCarty reporting. Thank you, Alma. Well, the mayor's proposal would also axe $18 million from the city's shelter services, forcing some shelters to close altogether. That includes the Northrop shelter in Northwest Portland that opened just 7 months ago. The mayor's proposal also includes cuts to outreach teams, the city's campsite removal program, as well as the overdose response team. We have an in-depth look at how shelters will be impacted by these cuts right now on KGW.com. There, you'll also find an interview with the Multnomah County Chair on how she is responding to the mayor's proposal to no longer send $30 million to support county homeless efforts. Well, after more than 2 weeks, a car that crashed into the Willamette River is finally out of the water. On April 6th, you might recall, investigators say the driver of this white Toyota Corolla sped off after an officer tried to pull the car over. Portland police say the car was speeding through downtown Portland, running red lights, and traveling in the wrong direction. 3 people died in the crash, and a 17-year-old survived. The car was found in about 30 feet deep of murky water where divers helped get it out earlier today.
It's pretty technical. The conditions in the Willamette right now are not ideal, obviously. Very low visibility, but we were able to get down there, get the job done.
It took crews most of the morning to get everything set up and only a couple of minutes to hoist the car out of the river.